What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how you can go from a 0-star wide receiver to a 5-star wide receiver. So we're going to talk about some of the differences and things that you can improve on if you're a receiver who's not as highly as recruited versus a receiver who has a ton of offers and will be playing at the next level. Now, fellas, the first thing we're going to talk about today is speed. So I think that's one of the main differences from guys who really play it. Like, because, you know, you look at like a 5-star wide receiver, generally he's going to be playing like high-level Power 5 college football at the Division I level, right? And so when you're at the Division I level and you're going up against DBs, those are the fastest guys on the field when you're in man coverage versus zone coverage. So as a Division I wide receiver, as a 5-star wide receiver, you need to have some speed. So if you're a high school wide receiver and your 40 time is maybe like a 4.7 or a 4.8, that needs to dramatically improve if you want to get the attention of scouts at a higher level of college football. I'm not saying that you can't play college football at that type of speed. You need to have some better attributes like route running, catching, you need to be physical, but speed is one of those things that you really need to have at this receiver position. So what are some things you could do to get faster? Because I'm just going to tell you that, like, you need to be faster. Like, I want to try to give you some key things that you could work on, implement into your routine, whether you're in the off season or during the season, that can make you faster. So the first thing is going to be resistance training. So I know as a player, something that helped me out a lot, get faster, was 2 to 3 times a week I was doing some type of resistance training. I'd run stadium stairs, I'd run up hills, I'd run with a sled, I'd run with a parachute. All that stuff is great for your speed development. Number 2, your running form. I think as an athlete when I was younger, I just relied on just sheer athleticism to run fast, but like if you have poor running form and you don't actually work on your running form, those bad reps are going to stack over time. So working on your hip mobility, your foot strike, I highly recommend running track for wide receivers in the off season, and only if it's a good track program at your school, or getting some dedicated speed trainer that maybe you go to once a week and then 2 days you take what you worked on in that workout and implement it if you don't have the money to pay for a speed trainer every single day. So running form, resistance training, and then when you're working out in the gym, lifting like an athlete and trying to do explosive movements. So box jumps, single leg box jumps, Olympic lifts, anything where you're having to try to move weight or move your body fast and exerting all out effort. Because whenever you're lifting or training, exerting all out effort, that increases something in your body called a fast twitch muscle fiber, and that's ultimately what leads to speed. So if you focus on those 3 things, I think you will get tremendously faster and make you a better overall wide receiver. Now, fellas, before we get into the rest of this video, if you are a wide receiver watching this or a quarterback, we are going to be traveling out to 15 different cities across the entire U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps this offseason, you guys. So if you want to sign up, go to that very first link in the description below. That is where all the information is. Our next camp is going to be in San Francisco, California. Then after that, we'll be heading out to Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbia, South Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Then we'll be coming out to Nashville, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, Salt Lake City, Utah, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, you want some information, you want to be able to sign up, go to that very first link in the description below. We limit spots for this camps, you guys, simply because we can work with each athlete individually and give them one-on-one attention. If we have like 40, 50 people in groups and it's this real long line, we can't necessarily do that, you guys. But if we limit the spots, which we do, we can actually work with you individually and help your skills improve. So that's why these camps sell out very fast, you guys, and they sell out probably 3 to 4 months in advance. So guys, if you're local to one of those cities, want to travel out, again, very first link in that description below, we'd love to have you there. Now, the next thing, the difference between 0-star and 5-star receivers is generally their route running. I think nowadays, you guys, like, you can't get away with just being fast and play at the next level. Like, I think the receiver position, especially with how much information there is on social media, how much information there is, you know, at the high school level, the receiver position consistently evolves, right? So, and same with the DB position. So DBs are more talented, they're more disciplined, they're just as fast as wide receivers. So if you're that guy in high school that is just a straightaway speed guy, I don't necessarily think that that's going to separate you to that like 4-star, 5-star high recruit type level. You have to be able to separate and you have to be able to run good routes. If you're paying poor competition, then that's one thing. But if you're playing a disciplined guy, which you will face at the next level, you got to have more than just speed and more than just size. You need to be able to run good routes. So something I see a lot of like higher recruit guys do effectively is pair their routes together. So what do I mean by pairing their routes together? So let's say I'm a slot receiver, right? And let's say I'm running like a corner route, right? Let's say it's a corner and a post. Like this is a simple example that any receiver, no matter how old they are, can add to their routes. When I run a corner and I just cut off of my inside foot and stick and then go to the corner, that's one way to run a corner route. Now, if I want to run a post route and I want to make that safety who's lined up on me, DB who lined up on me to think that I'm running a corner, I could use a simple move like a rocker step. Now again, this is a very, very simple example. There's obviously a lot more that can go into this, but this is a way that a lot of receivers don't think this way. A lot of receivers just run their routes and that's it. If you can find ways to pair the different moves that you use off the line or top of the route together, makes you more unpredictable, and that's what college coaches want to see. So when I run my post route, maybe I go 1-2, make it look exactly like I'm running the corner, and then I cut back to the post. You pairing your routes together show that you have a high football IQ, you understand how to manipulate coverages, manipulate DBs, and create separation, which is what you need at the next level. Now, the next thing we're going to be discussing, you guys, is making tough catches. I think when you analyze film, and I watch a lot of film of high school recruits, college recruits, NFL players, when you compare a receiver who's maybe on the average side of things, doesn't get a lot of recruiting attention, and then you compare him to a receiver who's highly recruited, offers from everywhere, one of the things that stands out on their film is that that receiver makes tough catches. On his film, he has examples of him making catches in traffic and 50-50 like jump ball situations, so that's what we're going to discuss. So if you want to get better at that, let's talk about catching in traffic first. There's a common question that I get asked from people, but when you're running over the middle, you got a guy on your hips, safety coming down, whatever, there's two things to focus on. Number one, you want your hands to be late. That's something that I struggled with when I was new to the receiver position, is I'd run over the middle and I'd want to extend my arms to the ball, but if you got a guy on your hip or you got a safety coming down, one hit, ball's going to get knocked out. You extend your arms to the ball, DB who's on your hip knows exactly where to play the ball. So you want to have late hands over the middle. I'm running over the middle, I want to be nice and late. Catch, and then I want to put it away violently to the tuck, because if I do get hit, at least the ball's tucked and at least I held on to it. And higher level wide receivers, you guys are able to do that effectively and showcase that on film. Now, let's talk about a jump ball. So a jump ball, 50-50 contested catch, especially if you're an outside wide receiver, if you want to be at that high caliber level of a recruit, you need to have these types of plays on your film. So if that ball is thrown above the rim, 50-50 ball, two things. Mindset, so you need to go up strong with strong hands and try to really secure that ball from that DB. On the way down, that's where DBs are taught to make their money. So on the way down, a lot of guys go up and they hold it away from themselves like it's a bomb and it's going to explode. Guy's going to knock it out. What you want to do, go up and secure it, rip your body and put your body between the defender and the football and put it violently to the tuck. And that'll help you secure it on the way down, and you'll be more consistent with those 50-50 jump ball throws. So guys, I'm telling you right now, if you want to get more recruiting attention, really it comes down to your film, and if you can showcase those types of plays on your film, you have a much better chance of standing out. So fellas, let's talk a little bit more about the highlight tape for wide receivers who are not really highly recruited and highly recruited receivers. And the biggest difference, you guys, is the highly recruited 5-star guys are explosive playmakers. Watch any 5-star player. Like a perfect example is the receiver from Alabama, Ryan Williams. Like his high school film, you guys, his high school film, he's got plays where he's got clips where he's making plays all over the dang field. He's playing wildcat quarterback, he's playing receiver, he maybe had a couple running back reps, he had some defensive reps, special teams, make plays on the field, showcase that you're an explosive playmaker. So what are some examples of that, and what can you do if you're a receiver who's maybe not in an offense that's designed to have those explosive plays, like a run-heavy offense, a wing T offense? What do you do in that case? And we're going to talk about that. So explosive plays that a college coach wants to see, especially Division I level college coach wants to see out of a receiver. He doesn't want to see you wide open down the sideline on a busted coverage and you catch it and you walk in the end zone. Yes, touchdowns are great, and that's good to maybe have on your film, but that's not an explosive play. He wants to see you work a release, have a DB right on your hip, catch this ball over the shoulder late, break a tackle, then go in. He wants to see you catch a slant and turn that up into a 60-yard touchdown rather than just a slant on the 10-yard line where you walk in. He wants to see you pancake a dude with blocking film. He wants to see you return a kick, return a punt, on defense getting a pick six. He wants to see those types of plays. So those are the plays that you want to put on your film. And when it comes down to your highlight tape, guys, you look at the top tier dudes, they don't have 12-minute long tapes of plays like that. Some guys make the mistake of making a really long tape. You need probably 1 to 3 minutes of explosive film to be able to stand out to a college caliber coach. Okay, that's really all you need. So if you're in a run heavy team, or maybe a team that doesn't set you up for that type of stuff, it's still possible to make those types of plays. So you're in a run heavy offense. Blocking is a major opportunity for explosive plays. Play special teams so you can return kicks and return punts. Play defense so you can get some plays there. A college coach is going to know where you actually fit. If you're on defense, don't worry about him like, well, I don't want to play DB at the next level. Don't worry about it. He's going to know. Like, let's say you get really solid film and you go to a camp and you show up as a receiver and they're like, okay, he's a great receiver. Do you have any film? Yes. I was in a run-heavy offense, coach, so I don't have a lot of receiver film, but I have plays. I'm making plays all over the field. Okay, great. We know this guy's a playmaker. That's what they want to see. So blocking film, play some running back, play some defense, make sure you're playing special teams, and just make sure you're the guy, because you're eventually going to have to pass the ball. I don't care how much you run the ball, and you want to make sure you're the guy that the offense goes to when they are throwing. So if you focus on those key things, you can stand out. It's just film is super important when you're distinguishing the differences between a no star and a 5-star.